Welcome back to the channel. Sinnhat's brother escorted the police back to the shock of the whole family. But what no one expected was he didn't recognize anyone. No mother, no wife, not even the person who saved him from death. In his chaotic memory, there was only one figure, a strange girl who saved him on the hill. She was the person he loved, and most of all, he didn't know that the girl on the hill was in danger. Would she escape? Early in the morning, the weak sunlight filtered through the window of Khan's wooden house, his devoted foster brother. On the chair, Hang sat absent-mindedly, her eyes lost in the strange room, having just escaped the hands of death. Khan stepped out. "How are you feeling?" But Hang did not answer the question. His eyes were wild, looking far away. I have to go back to the mountainside. The girl who saved me, I have to see her again. She has medicine. I need her." Khan was stunned, trying to stay calm. "But you're still having a headache. Let me take you to the hospital first. Then I'll take you wherever you want to go." Hang shook her head, her voice filled with despair. "I can't wait. I don't remember the way. I left there in a panic. If I don't come back, she'll think I abandoned her. She's the only person I remember clearly." Khan looked at Hang thoughtfully and nodded. "Okay, I will take you back to that girl." Hang breathed a sigh of relief, her eyes shining with hope. But he had no idea Khan was taking him to another place. A place that seemed familiar, but made Hang feel scared because it was so strange. With each step he took, he became more and more confused, his heart pounding. There was no girl waiting for him here, only distorted, broken memories rushing back. At the small house at the foot of the mountain, where the warm fire used to echo with laughter, now there is only heavy silence. Sinnhat, the young wife of police officer Hang, sits quietly on the porch, her eyes red after many sleepless nights. Her mother, her hair already streaked with gray, is still by her daughter's side, encouraging her every day. Many days have passed since Hang went missing while chasing criminals in the deep forest. News gradually thinned out, search parties returned with heavy eyes, and the promise to keep looking gradually faded. Sinnhat used to follow every footprint in the forest, every stream, every trail he often passed to find him. But in return, she returned home in silence, with wet clothes and small wounds all over her hands. Now, the mother and son could only wait in vain. However, life had to go on. When the afternoon sun had completely set behind the mountains, the mother and son of Sinnhat quietly brought their baskets out to the yard to collect the dried corn. Their hands were agile, but their eyes were empty and indifferent. The sound of the dry corn husks echoed in the empty yard, but it could not fill the void in their hearts. The work they did every day, but now it was just an excuse to kill time, to forget the pain that was growing bigger and bigger. Little did they know, the person they were waiting for every second, every minute, was on his way back. Sinnhat was like a silent shadow, doing a few things and then sitting there absent-mindedly. Her eyes were lifeless, her face tense, as if she was being tormented. Her longing for her husband was so intense that she could hardly breathe. Suddenly, a strange feeling welled up in her heart. Something very big was about to happen. Sinnhat was sitting absent-mindedly next to the basket of corn when the sound of a car engine broke the silence of the late afternoon. She jumped up. Her mother was also startled and looked out the gate. The familiar car of Khan Hang's adopted brother was stopping in front of the yard. Without prior agreement, both mother and daughter rushed over, their hearts pounding. Nhat hastily asked, "Khan, any news about Hang?" Khan did not answer immediately, just opened the back door of the car and nodded slightly. "She's in the car over there." Nhat was stunned, as if he couldn't believe his ears. "Hang!" She burst into tears, reaching out to hug him. But Hang was startled, using force to push her hand away decisively. His eyes were strange, distant, and wary. "Who are you? Why are you hugging me? Do we know each other?" Sinnhat was stunned. Her mother behind her was also stunned, speechless. The air seemed to freeze. "Hang, don't you recognize who I am? Don't you remember me?" Her voice choked, her eyes blurred with tears. Hang stepped back, her face clearly bewildered. Khan stepped forward, put his hand on her shoulder, his voice sad. "Hang has lost his memory. He doesn't remember anything about everyone." The words were like a thunderclap. Nhat couldn't believe it. The husband she had once crossed the forest with, shared so many hardships with, was now looking at her like a stranger. She tried to hold back her tears, softly saying, "Let's go inside first, then we'll talk later." But Hang shook her head, her voice determined. I won't go in. This isn't my house. I want to go back to the girl who saved me. She's still waiting for me to apply medicine." The silence was suffocating. Nhat was stunned again. Her mother stepped back, tears streaming down her face. Ken also bowed her head and did not speak. At this moment, Nhat did not know what to say. The man she loved the most was right in front of her, but his heart was no longer directed towards her. He did not remember, did not recognize, no longer had any feelings for the place he once called home. She bit her lip, forcing herself to stand firm. She knew the real challenge was just beginning now. Seeing Heng resolutely refusing to go inside, her face cold and full of vigilance, Can stepped closer, softly coaxing, "You should go in and rest for a while. If you still want to go later, I will take you there right away." But it's almost dark now. A long while later, Heng slowly nodded, walking into the house like a stranger stepping into a distant memory. Entering the house, his eyes were still full of vigilance. Sinnhat secretly sat down next to him, trying to hold his hand. But Heng's reaction made the whole family speechless. He jerked his hand away as if he was burned, glaring at her. "Don't touch me. Who are you? Why do you keep following me?" Nhat choked. His hand fell into the air. His heart ached. Nh. At that moment, Heng suddenly held her head, grimacing in pain. He groaned, his whole body covered in cold sweat, trembling. The whole family panicked. Nhat quickly bent down to support him, but he pushed her hand away again. "Where is she? I need her. The girl who saved me on the mountainside. She has medicine. Only she can ease this pain," he screamed, his voice mixed with pain and panic. "I don't need anyone else. I don't know who you are. I only love her. Why did you bring me to this place? Why did you deceive me?" Heng held her head and questioned Can. "You said you would take me back to see her. So where is this? Why did you bring me to such a strange place? This is not my home. I have never been here." Can was silent. Her mother was also silent, her hands clutching her shirt, not knowing what to do to help her son remember. Can sighed and said softly, "Listen to me. You're traumatized and losing your memory is something no one wants. But this is really your home, and they are your relatives. Give yourself a chance to remember." But Heng shook her head. "I don't need to remember anything. I just want to go back to that girl. She is my everything." No one could say anything more. On the hillside, the girl went back in the hope of finding the police officer Heng, but in vain. There were no traces, so she decided to go pick herbs to help the people around her. While she was unaware, a tiger was lurking in the distance. Sensing something, she tried to stay calm, using her experience living in the forest to stay safe. Suddenly, it appeared in the bushes. In a split second, she quickly bent down and hid in a thick bush. Her heart was pounding, but she didn't dare to move, knowing that just one mistake would be the end. The tiger stood nearby, sniffing, but didn't notice her. When the tiger's shadow gradually disappeared, she breathed a sigh of relief, but the anxiety still lingered in her heart. The tiger had just disappeared, but the strange thing had not ended.
Quê tôi có bãi bồi xanh mướt, dòng sông uốn lượn giữa lúa vàng, tiếng mẹ gọi chiều vang trên bếp lửa, trăng treo đầu ngõ gió muôn man, yêu quê ra diết chẳng thể nào quên.